Very good evening and welcome, one and all. Welcome to the Buddhist Mahavira's Facebook live page here at the Dhammadana series that we have been conducting for the past few months. And tonight we are actually starting a new series. This new series is called Fake Friends, and basically there are going to be 4 fake friends that we'll be discussing over the next couple of weeks. Um, and this evening, we have a very special guest with us from Bangkok, Thailand. And this professor will actually be speaking on the first of the types of four types of four fake friends that you will encounter in life, and also according to the teachings of the Buddha, and especially the Sigalawada Sutta, you can actually have references to the fake friends there. And our Professor Kapila Abhayawansa, will actually explain a little bit further on this particular aspect of fake friends. Uh, Dear friends, we also have to apologize. I think the internet connectivity uh, is not so good today, and there could be intermittent voice or and video interruptions whilst Professor is speaking. So I would now like to bring on Professor Kapila Abhayawansa onto our studio. Good evening, Professor.
Good evening.
Welcome to the Buddhist Mahavira's Dhammadana series.
Yeah, thank you. I'm very happy to be with you here now.
Yeah, so Professor will speak on the first fake friend, that is the Mitta Patirupaka, or the taker. But before we start the Dhamma sermon, I'll read Professor's profile for those of you who are not familiar with the Professor. Even for us, it's the first time that Professor has come on this Dhammadana series.
Yeah,
Professor Abhayawansa is a Buddhist scholar specializing in Pali, Sanskrit, Buddhist, Western, and Indian philosophies. He graduated from the University of Peradeniya in Sri Lanka, and he obtained a Master's of Philosophy from the Benares Hindu University in India, and a Doctor of Philosophy from the University of Kelaniya in Sri Lanka. He has served as the head of Department of the Buddhist Culture of the Postgraduate Institute of Pali and Buddhist Studies at the University of Kelaniya, and is currently the permanent professor holding the post of Dean of the Faculty of Religious Studies and the Vice Rector for Academic Affairs at the International Buddhist College in Thailand. So without much ado, I would now like to invite Professor Abhayawansa to start this evening's Dhamma sharing. Professor, would you please?
uh, thank you, Mr. Tilak Leslie. My dear Dhamma friends, it is a great pleasure and honor to me that I have been invited to have a Dhamma talk today in this pleasant evening. My sincere thanks goes to the organizers of the Dhammadana series of Buddhist Mahavihara in Malaysia. The topic given to me for today's talk is one of the 4 friends. As Mr. Tilak Leslie mentioned already, he is the taker or the fake friend, one who appropriates the wealth of his own friends. The taker is first one of the 4 bad friends coming under the category of fake friends or enemies in the guise of friends, shown in the Sigalawada Sutta. Pali term for the taker is Anyadattuhara, which means one who appropriates his friend's wealth. As I know, this is the first Dhamma talk in the series on the topic of friendship. Friendship is one of the important topics for our practical life. Really, we have to thank the organizers of Dhammadana series of Mahavihara, Malaysia, for commencing of a Dhamma series on the topic of friendship. Because knowing about true friends and fake friends, we can uplift the quality of our lives. Buddhism pays much attention to the concept of friendship because of the fact that friends can be an important factor which can lead our lives towards either to progress or to decline of both spiritual and material aspects. Friends are the integral part of our lives. It is no need to say that we cannot live without the association of friends. As the social beings, we cannot live alone. We need the support from our friends in different aspects of our lives. Friends are so close and important to our lives. Buddhism compels us to consider friends as our family members. Sigalovada Sutta points out 6 family relations, namely parents and children, husband and wife, teachers and pupils, employers and employees, friends and companions, and religious personalities and devotees. This shows us that the well-being of a family depends on the mutual relationship between those members. They all have their mutual duties to be fulfilled for the well-being and happiness of all the members of the family. It is true that we need friends. As the social being, we cannot live alone. But when we choose friends to be associated with us, we have to be very careful, as there are good friends and fake friends. Good friends are the real friends, but bad friends are the enemies in the guise of friends. By outer appearance, all are alike. It is very difficult to judge whether people are good or bad by their external appearance. The Buddha pointed out, na vanna rupena naro sujano na vissate itra dassanena. From the color and the form, man cannot be known well. Do not believe him only by mere seeing. To know the real behavior of someone, we must have to associate him for a long time. This fact is revealed by the Buddha to the king Kosala, saying, Samvasena ko panamaharaja silang vetabang tanchako digena adhuna. To understand the real nature of the people that we associate as friends, Sigalovada Sutta helps us immensely, providing a very useful analysis of the friends. It says that there are 2 types of friends, namely Papamitta and Kalyanamitta. Papamitta means bad friends, or in other words, fake friends. Mitta Patirupaka, those who appear to be friends. In the real sense, they are the enemies in the guise of the friends. On the other hand, Kalyanamitta means good friends or admirable friends. Bad friends have to be avoided from afar. Arakena parivajjaya, while the good friends should be associated constantly. This fact is emphasized by the Dhammapada saying, na bhaje papake mitte, na bhaje purisadhame, bhajeta mitte kalyane, bhajeta purisuttame. Na bhaje papake mitte, not to accompany with bad friends. Na bhaje purisadhame, not to accompany with low people. Bhajeta mitte kalyane, associate with good or admirable friends. Bhajeta purisuttame, associate with the great people. There is no other religion like Buddhism which has given so much of emphasis to point out the danger of the bad friends and to highlight the value of the good or admirable friends. The reason for this Buddhist emphasis is that the association of bad friends is so dangerous to our lives, and the association of good friends is so helpful in both spiritual and material aspects of our lives. Therefore, the Buddha has given very important analysis of the friends in the Sigaloha Sutta, which enables us to understand the nature of the friends. In that sutta, 4 types of bad friends are mentioned with their characteristics. They are namely Anyadattuvara, Vachiparama, Anuppyabhani, and Abhayawansa. Anyadattuvara means one who appropriates or takes the wealth of his friends. The second type is called Vachiparama, which means one who renders lip service. He shows his friendship only by mere words. The third type is called Anuppyabhani, which means one who flatters. He cheats his friends, praising them. The fourth type is known as Abhayawansa, which means one who ruins his friends. There is no doubt that the Buddha has made this classification of the friends paying attention to his own contemporary society. Therefore, one can say the classification is not relevant to our present society. People think that the present society is different from that of the time of the Buddha. This is an advanced society inspired by the science and technology. But it should be emphasized that the nature and the behavior of the people do not change their nature time to time. The life of the people is led by 2 intrinsic instincts, that is, desire for happiness and repugnance to well-being, repugnance to suffering. Sukhakamai manutta, dukkha patikula. Sukhakama means desire for happiness. Dukkha patikula means aversion to unhappiness. We see people do anything good or bad because of their own happiness. And also they do anything good or bad to prevent themselves from unhappiness or suffering. These 2 instincts are common to all people in spite of time and space. If we take the characteristic belonging to the 4 types of bad friends shown by the Buddha, it is not difficult for us to find such bad friends even among the circle of our friends. In our day-to-day life, when we associate our friends, we can experience that all our friends are not alike. There are some of our friends who always try to get support, financial or otherwise, from us, but they do not support us. Whenever they need something, they come to us and ask for the support. In our distress, they do not come to us, but they try to escape from us. They never fail to approach us in our good time, because they know they can get some help from us. There are some other friends who praise us in front of us, but they insult us in our absence. And also we have some friends who always try to compel us towards the bad conduct, such as gambling, drinking, and debauchery. They never have the interest in helping us to do the good things. We also have good friends who always help us to promote ourselves in the direction of spiritual and material progress. Their association leads to spiritual profitability, protect us from evil that may befall us, and is inclined towards our welfare. Therefore, it is quite evident that the nature of good and bad friends does not change time to time. The taker who appropriates the wealth of his friends, shown in the Sigaloha Sutta, can be known through his characteristics. He is having 4 characteristics according to the Sigaloha Sutta. His desire is always to take wealth of his friend. He gives little but expects much. He renders duties out of fear, and he associates because of his own benefit. Why do we learn about the friends? What is the purpose of knowing their characteristics? If there is no practical significance or purpose of something, Buddhism does not ask us to know about that. The concept of friendship is one of the important topics in Buddhist teachings. The main aim of Buddhism is to lead people to happiness, prevent them from suffering. Friendship is also one of the factors in our life which can bring either happiness or unhappiness to us. Therefore, it is very important to know about our friends. That is the reason why Buddhism is interested in talking about the friends. Every one of us has friends more or less. If we know the nature of our friends, we can distinguish or discriminate them into the categories of good friends and bad friends. Then it is our responsibility to choose and associate good friends and prevent from bad friends. If we do this, we are in the safe side. Buddhism always encourages us to associate good people and to avoid bad people from afar. Association of good friends means that we are approaching to happiness. Avoidance of bad friends means that we escape from suffering. We need physical well-being as well as spiritual well-being. If we have good friends who have association, both the aspects of well-being are protected. Good friends never lead their companions into troubles. They advise and encourage us to go forward on the secure path both in physical aspect and spiritual aspect. They show us what is good and what is bad, and what is right and what is wrong, what should be done and what should not be done. They come forward and help us in the time of our crisis and distresses. They never wish our suffering. They always are happy with their friends' happiness. Good friend is the source of happiness. He leads us to the way of physical well-being as well as spiritual well-being. Physical well-being mostly depends on our economic condition. Good friends always lead us to economic progress. They never become the cause for dissipating our wealth. In the Vyaggapaja Sutta, the Buddha has pointed out 4 ways that led to the development of the wealth. They are Uttana Sampada, accomplishment of persistent effort; Arakka Sampada, accomplishment of protection; Kalyana Mittata, association of good friends; and Samajivikata, balanced life. We need the persistent effort for the production of wealth. Otherwise, you will never get a sound economic condition. And also we must make use of different methods for the protection of our wealth. Third condition for the progress of the wealth is Kalyana Mitrata, association of good friends. They never lead you for dissipating your wealth rather than advising you how to develop your wealth. This is quite evident when we consider the association of bad friends in this respect. Suppose you associate bad friends. Do they lead you to develop your wealth, or do they help you to dissipate your wealth? In the Sigalova Sutta, Papamittata, or association of bad friends, is considered as one of the 6 channels for dissipating wealth. Bad friends do not like to look at the happiness of their companion. They always encourage their companion toward the evil activities. They try constantly to put their companion into trouble. As we know, bad friends are evildoers. They want to get the help of their companions for evil activities, such as indulgence of gambling and indulgence in intoxicate and so on. Those evil activities are the causes for dissipating wealth. How the good friend leads his companion to achieve the progress in spiritual well-being. As the human being in our lives, we must have the spiritual progress. Spiritual progress means the inner purification. As the result of inner purification, we get the inner peace. Without an inner peace, we cannot have any kind of well-being or happiness. Real friendship is the friendliness, which is one of the 4 cardinal virtues, Brahma Vihara. We know 4 Brahma Viharas: Metta, Karuna, Mudita and Upekkha. The first virtue is Metta, which means friendliness or loving kindness. Metta is defined as the nature of a friend. Mittasya bhavo metta. That is the definition of metta. That is why the term metta is rendered into English as friendliness. What is the friendliness? It is a quality of behavior in pleasant, kind way towards someone. It is well described in the well-known discourse Karanimetta Sutta. It says, Na paroparan nikubbeta nati manyeta kattachanang kanchi. Na paroparan nikubbeta, do not deceive each other. Nati manyeta kattachanang kanchi, do not let down anyone in anywhere. Vyarotana patika sanya nanya manyata dukkha miccaya, do not wish harm to each other through anger and ill will. Friendliness is similar to a mother's love to her only child. Matayatani amputtang ayusa eka puttamanurakke. The Buddhism expects this friendliness from every human being. We all must be friends to each other. If such a friendliness prevails among the human being, this world necessarily becomes a safe place where we all can live happily and peacefully. No one do any harm to anyone, all are friends to each other. But when we look at the world of today, world is full of miseries created by the human beings against each other. People try to overcome each other in many respects in order to achieve their own happiness. They do not think of others' happiness. They think only about themselves. They behave like enemies to each other. If we have the mentality of real friendship, we always wish the happiness of others and we do not make any harm to others. If we cultivate friendliness towards others, as pointed out in the Karaniya Sutta, we do not experience so much of miseries and suffering created by the people themselves. All the type of misbehavior and misconduct are taking place among people as the result of the lack of friendship among themselves. We learn about the real friendship not because of any other purpose, but because of cultivating towards all living beings for the happiness and well-being of all of us. Our expectation and aspiration should be that may all living beings be happy and comfortable. I think I have discussed enough in my talk about especially the friendship as explained in Buddhism. So thank you all for listening my talk.
Thank you, Professor Kapila,
Okay, thank you.
for spending time with us this evening. Even though the audio was not so great and the video was also not so great, as I mentioned, we will try to do a better recording of this, and we will upload this onto our YouTube channel later.
Okay.
So on behalf of the Committee of Management and also the monks of the Buddhist Mahavihara, we would like to say a big sadhu and a thank you to Professor Kapila for taking time off from his busy schedule in Bangkok to be with us this evening. And we look forward to seeing all our listeners, and also we'd like to thank our sponsors for sponsoring this evening's Dhamma sharing, and also to all our listeners who so patiently listened to the Dhamma sermon as expounded by Professor. Thank you for being with us, even though we had a little bit of problem. We look forward to seeing you this Sunday, where we have Professor Ratna Vijayatunga, who will speak on the second type of fake friend, which is a smooth talker. What's he parama? Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay. So good night and thank you, everyone. Have a pleasant evening. Stay safe.
Thank you. Thank you.